Quick question. How many times have you let things slide, even though deep down you knew it was wrong? How many toxic people have you kept around just to avoid conflict, even though you knew it was hurting you? You've probably tolerated these behaviors for so long that it feels like part of your life now. But let me tell you something. Some behaviors should never be tolerated. These behaviors can wreck your self-esteem, damage your mental health, and destroy your peace of mind. So let's set the record straight today. Let's start with the most obvious one, disrespect. This is the foundation for almost every bad relationship you'll ever have. We're talking about people who cut you off mid-sentence, belittle your opinions, or outright ignore your boundaries. They're telling you that your thoughts, feelings, and presence aren't valued. That's not just a red flag, it's a neon sign that should tell you to step back and reassess the relationship. And you know the person who acts like they're always too busy for you, but when it's convenient for them, they suddenly have time. Yeah, that's disrespect. You don't need that kind of energy in your life. Think about the time your friend made that joke about you in front of others, and it wasn't even funny. But you laughed it off, didn't you? Because you didn't want to cause a scene. Don't let disrespect slide. Now would be a great time to like the video before we continue. I want to thank you all for returning to Philosophy Central. Next up, gaslighting. This is the kind of behavior that makes you question your reality. And trust me, you know exactly who I'm talking about. The person who makes you feel crazy for having a basic opinion or memory. Suddenly, you're the one at fault for everything. It's like you're living in an alternate universe. Ever had that moment when someone says, "That's not what happened," and you literally have a crystal clear memory of the event? Yeah, that's gaslighting, and it's a power move to manipulate you into doubting yourself. Gaslighting is emotional abuse, pure and simple. It erodes your sense of self-worth and makes it hard to trust your own thoughts and feelings. This kind of manipulation can have long-lasting effects on your mental health, leading to self-doubt and anxiety. If someone constantly makes you feel like you're losing your mind, it's time to draw the line. Now, let's talk about accountability. Or should I say, the lack of it. There are people who will never take responsibility for their actions, no matter how much damage they cause. If they mess up, you'll get an excuse, not an apology. They'll throw you under the bus without a second thought. It's like that one coworker who always blames the printer for missing the deadline. Really? The printer? How about we blame your procrastination skills instead? Toxic positivity occurs when someone insists that you stay positive at all costs, even when you're dealing with difficult or painful situations. It's not about being optimistic. It's about denying your emotions and invalidating your struggles. It's the belief that if you're not happy all the time, something's wrong with you. Real growth comes from embracing all emotions, the good and the bad. Suppressing negative feelings in the name of positivity leads to burnout and mental exhaustion. Toxic positivity undermines real healing and makes you feel like you're not allowed to have a bad day or express frustration. This behavior shuts down meaningful conversations and connection. Imagine sharing your frustrations about a tough breakup and someone responds with, "Well, at least you're still alive, so be thankful." That's toxic positivity. Instead of validating your pain, they invalidate it, pushing you to skip the healing process and jump straight to a forced, happy attitude. Boundaries are essential for maintaining healthy relationships. Overstepping boundaries happens when someone disregards your personal limits, whether physical, emotional, or psychological. It can range from something small, like invading your personal space, to something big, like pressuring you into making decisions you're not comfortable with. When someone oversteps your boundaries, they are showing a blatant disregard for your autonomy and well-being. Everyone has their own comfort zone, and when that's ignored, it creates discomfort, frustration, and even resentment. Over time, your sense of self becomes eroded, and the relationship becomes one-sided. Let's say you've made it clear that you don't want to talk about your personal finances, but someone keeps probing, asking you about your income or spending habits. This is a violation of your boundaries. It's important to assert yourself and recognize when someone is making you feel uncomfortable or vulnerable. Manipulation is about controlling someone's actions or emotions for your own benefit. Manipulative people use guilt, charm, or deceit to get what they want. often without consideration for your well-being. They make you feel like you're doing something wrong for not giving in to their demands. Manipulation is a silent killer of relationships. It undermines your autonomy and makes you feel as though you're always the one who has to adjust. It's emotionally draining, leaving you questioning your worth, feelings, and decisions. The person manipulating you knows exactly how to exploit your insecurities. Ever had someone in your life who guilt-tripped you into doing something for them? If you really cared about me, you would help. That's manipulation. They found a way to make you feel like a bad person if you don't comply, even though it's not your responsibility. People who constantly play the victim position themselves as powerless in every situation. They never take responsibility for their own actions and always blame external factors for their misfortune. This mentality stunts growth because they refuse to take charge of their life and circumstances. Victimhood is a mindset that keeps people stuck in the past, never allowing them to move forward. It's exhausting to be around someone who always points the finger but never looks inward. Constantly playing the victim takes away your own power because it prevents you from taking control of your life and making things better. Think about that person who always seems to have an excuse for everything that goes wrong in their life. Oh, I never got promoted because my boss doesn't like me. Instead of acknowledging their own shortcomings and taking action, they choose to stay stuck in the blame game. Dishonesty can take many forms, from outright lies to half-truths, omissions, and deceit. A dishonest person will say whatever it takes to protect themselves or their image, regardless of the harm it causes to others. Whether it's in relationships, friendships, or business, dishonesty erodes trust. Why it's unacceptable. Trust is the cornerstone of every relationship. Once it's broken, it's hard to rebuild. Dishonesty leads to confusion, misunderstandings, and hurt feelings. It creates an environment where you never truly know if you can rely on someone. If you catch someone in a lie, it makes you question everything they've ever said or done. Imagine discovering that a close friend has been lying to you about something important, whether it's about where they were last night or something bigger like their true feelings toward you. That feeling of betrayal stings, and it takes time, if ever, to rebuild that trust. Unpredictability refers to people whose actions and moods are inconsistent and erratic. One day they're loving, the next they're cold. One day they're supportive, the next they're pulling away. This instability can leave you feeling anxious, uncertain, and constantly walking on eggshells. Unpredictable behavior creates an environment of emotional instability. It's impossible to feel secure or trust that someone will always have your back when they're constantly changing their mood or their actions. This creates an exhausting emotional roller coaster where you can never fully relax. Imagine dating someone who one day is all over you with affection, and the next, they ignore your texts or act distant. You can't figure out if they like you or not, and the uncertainty starts to wear you down. This kind of emotional instability is draining, and it's not something you should tolerate. Now let's be real, if any of these behaviors are in your life, it's time for a change. These toxic patterns are draining you, and you deserve better than this. No one should ever make you feel like you have to tolerate bad behavior to keep the peace. There you have it, 10 terrible behaviors you should never tolerate in your life. So hit that like button if you've ever dealt with any of these behaviors. Drop a comment below telling me which one you can't stand the most. And don't forget to subscribe.